everybody, I'm Sula and this is Living Opera. Shout out to all of our subscribers. We're so appreciative. There's been so much going on, so this is really an update video. I kind of don't even know where to begin, so I'll just do my best. First of all, we moved, but this is not where we moved to. We're currently in Houston, Texas because Norman is doing a premiere at Houston Grand Opera called The Wreckers. And I am here taking voice lessons, which is such a relief because with everything that happened in the pandemic, that was one of the biggest disruptions, which I'm sure many of you can relate to, is not having in-person voice lessons. So I got to have them and it's been great. And it will also be helpful for creating content for this channel. At some point, you need new input. You know, when you're drawing from the same kind of old well over and over again, you just kind of feel like, well, I feel like I've said everything I know how to say, and I'm not even sure it was right. Hoping it was right, because you don't want to put nonsense out on the internet, but. So the first update, a lot of you who are especially connected with us on Instagram already know this, but we rebranded Living Opera. We're really viewing this as an experiment, but we're doing what we feel like is the right thing to do and sort of treading in unfamiliar territory with technology, with non-fungible tokens, NFTs. And if you saw the last video, you see that we had a launch of Magic Mozart, which is our first big NFT collection, and it will be used to create a microgrants program for you, the Living Opera community. One of the things that, when I'm in meetings trying to describe what we're doing, I talk about how we're basically combining an art form that everyone says is boring or dying or nobody wants it, nobody likes it, whatever, apart from, you know, our community here, with technology that people are like, I don't understand it, it's too new, verging even on it's a scam. So it's like, oh my gosh, this is like two things to bring them together and actually make it successful. How are we gonna do that? Interestingly, Magic Mozart did get a lot of interest and a lot of press. We are hoping it's going to catch on and really sort of ignite and excite a whole new community. And I will do a separate video talking about everything that that's going to do, but I just wanted to like kind of go through all the updates and tell you just like literally what's going on. So basically, this decision to sort of make this hybrid new platform. By the way, you have to check out our new like website. It's like super beautiful. Like that's just the intro. Like super pretty, super pretty. I think it's super pretty. The inspiration around the rebranding was actually something really unusual. I went to this conference in New York in like 2021, end of 2021, and I saw this beautiful rainbow up in the clouds. And this is like not my normal personality to be like, but like I saw. Maybe it is, but I don't think so. I saw this like beautiful rainbow in the clouds, and I was just sort of like thinking about what to do next for Living Opera, even just like a color palette that I wanted to use for the new website. And when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, what a beautiful rainbow in the clouds. I didn't really think anything of it. Then I just kept seeing them like over and over and over and over again. And I was like, this is getting weird. And a lot of sort of companies that were, you know, emerging in this sort of like more Web3 style space, we're always using like black websites, like just like really dark, really heavy. And so I wanted to do something completely opposite to that, especially also because there are not so many like female founders in the space. It's definitely like lopsided. So when I was sort of like conceiving of this new direction for Living Opera, I was like, I think this like beautiful rainbow cloud thing is going to be our color palette. Anyway, so that was just the first thing, visually speaking. That's kind of the story behind like our rainbows, and we even have like rainbow merch on the new website just to reflect like this beautiful color palette. And it was just sort of an organic sort of step in the right direction. So then like the next thing I discovered was this like musical dice game from the 18th century that was attributed to Mozart. And I was like, interesting, because this game has randomization in it, which is a lot of like these art projects that are coming up like in the NFT space are like including some sort of like randomization. So I was like, okay, I guess this makes sense. We could create like a Mozart collection, and maybe that would be a good way to enter the space. So from that, we started to build this collection and just learned a lot. It's definitely a paradigm shift for me as a business owner, but also as an artist, because one of the things I'm finding is through sort of like creating a space for us in this Web3 ecosystem, I just feel a lot calmer in general about singing and what I'm doing with singing. this is just a little thing that's been super annoying, but I have not been able to travel now for like over a year because of my visa, which is super annoying. And I won't go into all the details there, but I've had to be really creative about how I use my time. And it's not something that I like to talk about so much because I'm not trying to complain, and I'm not, people are in such hard situations, so I would never try to overblow my situation, but it has been really hard because you sort of don't know what to pursue. Because I have some opportunities coming up. Actually, I need to be able to travel very soon, and I still don't know if I'm going to be able to. And that's just really tough. And actually, Norman and I have been in that situation in years past. It's not, it's not easy. And I am grateful that I've had this outlet, you guys supporting our work on the various platforms. When you're a singer, you want to sing. And of course, like, I love building content, and I love creating these art collections and doing all these various things. But of course, when your first love and your heart and what you feel like your calling is to sing, and you feel like it's somewhat being obstructed, it's just not easy. We're expecting that to change soon. And when it does, you'll see me going off and just doing all the normal things. But for now, I'm just trying to keep positive and focused and try to serve this community the best I can as I navigate literally my own life. So funny. While we were building Magic Mozart, I thought about like, what else would be fun to build? And it's just sort of like, I have so many ideas, and I think a lot of creative people can relate to this. You just have idea after idea, and you're just like, let's just get it done on paper, and then one day we'll do something about it. So one idea I had right after I had the idea for Magic Mozart was around Maria Callas. Grew up listening to Callas, obviously. Well, I guess not obviously, but she was my icon, at least. I think for a lot of Greek singers, she's either like your icon or your shadow, because you're like, if you're a Greek singer, if you're a Greek soprano, the name Callas always comes up, and it's just one of those things. She's singular. Nobody will ever be her. I always think it's funny in our business, just as a side note, that people always say stuff like, oh, the next Pavarotti, the next Callas, the next whatever, and it's just like, it doesn't make sense, right? I know that we do it for context, but that's just a little tidbit. Like, y'all, just be the only you. Anyway, all that to say, I started to like dream up this art collection around Maria Callas at the end of 2021, and you can look at that on our website as well. And I was like, man, it'd be so cool to just do something around her. Anyway, we put that idea away for several months because we were busy doing Magic Mozart and then life and other things. So then I get this call from my agent saying, you are invited to sing Iphigenie en Tauride. Sorry for my pronunciation, but I'm just flowing in my own accent, okay? Iphigenie en Tauride in Athens at the Maria Callas Theater. And I was just like, what? I literally had no idea that 2023 is the 100-year anniversary of the birth of Maria Callas. Didn't know that. I'd love to pretend and be like, yes, and at Living Opera, we are just so organized with our creative process that we absolutely planned this. Nope, didn't plan it. It all lined up. So y'all, we are creating what we're calling right now the Divina collection, and it's an art collection. We're still ironing out the details. We have an interesting partner for the outfits, but I can't talk about it right now, but it's super cool. And how that collection is going to work and what we're going to do with it, because what we want to do with it, with the proceeds from it, it's just a mind-blowing idea. So we're just very, very excited. And in March, I will make my debut at the Maria Callas Theater in Athens. And I would love if some of you are in Europe or planning to be in Europe, or just, I don't know, somewhere else, but you're like, yeah, I'll come to Athens. I'd love to meet you. So that'd be super amazing. After that, I had another kind of serendipitous, interesting, just providential thing come up, but I haven't signed a contract for that yet. So as soon as I sign a contract for that, I'll tell you about it, but it's along the same lines. I'm like, what is going on? What? We are building so many things to try and firstly, improve the lives of artists. Secondly, create a conversation between the technology and performing arts community, because I just really think that would be an amazing group to come together and create wildly successful projects. We are talking to metaverse companies to see how we could bring opera or classical art and music into the metaverse. The opportunities that are coming along for this community are just so unexpected and so unbelievable. And I'm just grateful to be able to steward them and hopefully make some small change for us as performing artists. And then for any technologists that are watching, welcome. We want to share our world with you, and we just want to build with you. This is an exciting time. It's like an all things possible kind of time. Furthermore, I don't know what the future of our art form is. And so my mindset is, why not try something different? Why not try something new with such a massive shakeup in the world? This is just my mindset. My mindset was not, I want things to go back to normal. My mindset was, I want to see how we can innovate in this time of crisis and bring things to the next level. That's my heart and my mindset around what we're building and trying to innovate on. I guess my call to action for this community is, don't be afraid. Innovate in whatever small way you feel like you want to, if you feel like you want to. And if you don't feel like that, you shouldn't feel pressured to, but I am just convinced that people who have been following Living Opera or engage with the content or just sort of anything we say resonates, that there's something sort of in the back of your mind that you want to achieve and accomplish. And I just want to encourage you to do so. And furthermore, go outside of what you know. I've been in so many calls where it was like, whether it was just like business terminology and I was like, oh my gosh, what are they talking about? Or it was technology terminology. And again, what are they talking about? I am just glad that I pressed through all of that discomfort to get to where we are today, because I believe what we're building will really help a lot of people. I think we'll create new audiences for our art form. Literally, like, what's the worst thing that can happen? It doesn't do those things. So what? Like, then what happens? Okay, your ego is bruised for a second. So I don't think that's a big enough price to pay to not try. A lot of people I've spoken to in this community seem to be excited about it and, want us to succeed in our endeavors. And not only that, turn around and show you how we did it too. And so that's always kind of been what we've tried to do with this channel, with our social media, with our content, everything, is to just present ideas that empower and bring new life. We've grown a lot too since the beginning of this project. My goodness, in a few short months, we're going to be starting the 4th year of this project. And when we started, we literally couldn't believe people were still watching after 4 IG live broadcasts, and now here we are. I just want to encourage you all to really pursue the things you know are going to give you the best life. Just diving in and trying, even if you fall on your face, it really doesn't matter. I mean, how else do we ever, for example, like learn how to sing a high note? Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I've had to sing a lot of terrible high notes to finally get something satisfying to come out. I just want to thank everybody for journeying with us and subscribing to this channel and to being part of our community. Everything we're doing is because we feel like we're supposed to, because we want to improve the lives of artists. And of course, it's improving our lives too, as we have more connectivity with different sectors and different people doing amazing creative things. And the thing that I think is amazing is that they're all excited and interested in opera. And I don't know if it's just that, they like us or they like me, in the meetings, or if it's just the sheer novelty of like, oh, an opera singer, that's so unexpected. I don't care what it is, as long as it brings more connectivity between sectors that don't currently engage with one another. Excited to create more singing content for you. It was incredibly challenging with our move to Nashville because we suddenly had neighbors that didn't like it when we made noise at all, like even walking across the floor. So that was just like, anyway, but we've been actively seeking solutions to try and just get on top of it. But it's just like, there's so many things that happen. It's like, okay, you're suddenly, moving, and then you have to, take care of all of that. And that's all, like I said, from the beginning. So we love you. We appreciate you. And we are very grateful that you guys have stuck with us and that actually this community has been growing. And we cannot wait to invite you into some of the stuff that we're building to hopefully improve all of our lives. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Just bless all of you. And I'm very, very appreciative that you've been walking through these times with us. See you next time.